Hey guys, Rachel Grabenhofer here with Cosmetics and Toiletries, coming to you with my latest Consumer Pulse report / top headlines on C&T this week. And I've been pretty good about getting this over to you in the last week or two, so I'm trying to just go back about 7 days for most of these searches. Starting with exploding topics, wild deodorant is up dramatically. I'm just going to say that. They always say 99K plus percentage points. But in the last 2 years, it's grown immensely. You could see that it's peaking here recently on the graph. But this is a natural, eco-friendly, refillable, vegan, cruelty-free deodorant for eco-conscious consumers. It's apparently about 2022 is when it started growing in interest. And I did a quick look to see it is a brand, refillable, powered by nature. You could see there's different types here, roll-on, stick, body wash, so a lip balm even. So I thought it was worth highlighting this brand. It seems to be gaining traction. I didn't see anything in the headlines related to it, so I'm not sure why it's trending. But again, it's been growing in interest in the last couple of years, according to Exploding Topics. Next up, we have Collagen hand cream. You could see it's kind of dropped and come back again in the last 2 years per Exploding Topics. Obviously, it's skincare designed to moisturize the hands, rejuvenate the skin, bring like a plump skin health look to the hands. I think it's interesting because it's sort of a look again at youthfulness in the hands. We've seen more interest in that in recent years because we've been so focused on the face and the body, but our hands tend to dry out, and especially if we're driving a lot, you get a lot of sun exposure if you don't wear sunscreen. So you see aging in the hands. In fact, Kelly Dobos wrote about the way skin on the hand ages in our May issue this year. So check it out if you haven't seen that yet. But so Collagen hand cream is up next on Exploding Topics. And then my last one for Exploding Topics is Serum blush. You can see it's kind of peaked in recent months as well. It's just, I thought it was interesting because it's sort of a different format for blush. Just, obviously the product is supposed to give sort of this youthful, dewy finish to skin. Popular among people who want natural, radiant look with some added skin benefits. So again, kind of that hybrid makeup with multiple benefits, the color as well as care. So that is my last one for Exploding Topics today. Next up, I went to Google Trends, also in the last week. You could see this is global searches. The first one here, if you can't read Japanese, I couldn't. So I did a quick Google Translate. This is up over 4,500%, by the way, so I thought that was interesting. So doing the translate got me Kentaro Sakaguchi makeup look. So Kentaro is apparently a Japanese actor, heartthrob, also K-pop star. He's got a big following in Korea. But so there's a lot of focus on him. And I did a quick search. This is just AI generated, but it talks about ways that you can replicate his makeup look. More of a minimalist like coverage, just kind of contouring and highlights, natural looking. So you can read about that if you want to dig deeper into it. I thought it was interesting they called it salt face aesthetic in Japanese, so might be something to dig into. I also looked to see there's a headline recently related to him. Oh, what's this? Ad. There's sort of a love triangle going on, so there's some drama related to him. He's, I think, living with a makeup artist, so that's where the word makeup pulled us into this story. But she is, there's some controversy. Apparently she's older than him and she's dating someone else, so there's some headlines related to that probably are drawing interest. So I won't get into all the gossip, but I thought that was interesting. Oh, next up on the Google Trends, another one in Japanese, so a lot going on in that market. I couldn't even guess what that is, but up 800%. So I dug into this, let's see, and this related to this oval-shaped makeup application brush. I looked to see, it was Artis, I believe. This was a different, Artis is the brand, you could see up here. This was a black finish version of the same brush, but it's that oval shape. It talks about being designed so that the brushes taper to a point for a very fine airbrushed look when you apply your makeup. I thought it was interesting because it talks about replicating the way your fingers apply makeup. Somehow that makes it more intuitive when you put on your makeup. It's also got an ergonomic handle, things like that are highlighted. So that's drawing interest too. I think there were a couple of sales I might have run across in my searches. So maybe that's part of the reason it's getting some love from consumers. And then last but not least, from the Google Trends side, I'm going to attempt to say this, Maquillaje, pascuense, hombre, and the same thing without hombre. This is up 450 and 350%. I had to do some digging here as well. Again, forgive my lack of translatable language here, but Google Translate is wonderful. But so this relates to Easter Island makeup. I don't know why this is drawing attention. The ombre search itself was related for men, so I just pulled up some different images to show you here what they look like in terms of the makeup. I also did see one news headline talking about rising ocean waters are threatening the Easter Island, which is an extension of Chile, I believe. So Easter Island makeup, I thought that was really kind of interesting. So moving on to the C&T headlines, I did write something up this week. There's only a couple more days left. The C&T Alley Awards early bird date ends September 15th, but you can enter now to get the lower rate. Just submit some basic information and you can always come back and update it until the October 15th final deadline. So I wanted to highlight that because that deadline is coming up. There's also this interesting story about GreenWave, who is pulling together a project called Kelp CoLab. It has an anchor company, this Unilever foundry, that's sort of guiding their project. And really the goal is to get people together to understand how to better use seaweed and kelp and how to actually apply it kind of not as a hero ingredient, but across the board. How can we make better use of it? So I believe people are signing up to participate in this project. Yeah, October 6th, here it is the final deadline to sign up to be part of this project. So I thought that was really interesting, seeing a lot of activity and, trying to be more circular in our thinking. We did write up this report on some safety alerts, TPO, in curable, like professional nails, when it's, has to do with the emissions, I believe. It's not supposed to be safe for those who have long exposure, like from nail salons. I also reported about, there was a study that came out about when you're heat styling and the product is warmed up, the nanoparticles that are emitted, what is the risk of someone who's doing that a lot? So there, I've linked to a study in this report you can look at. And then last but not least, there's a big controversy, especially in the sunscreen recalls. I don't know if you've seen these stories from Australia. Back in June, I think specifically, there were 16 Serum sunscreens that were pulled because they didn't provide the claimed SPF on the labels. And apparently they were all reviewed by the same third-party international company that certified them is giving those SPFs. So the Therapeutic Goods Association, TGA, there in Australia, is investigating kind of that source. And then actually, that was in June. There's a more recent report about, I think it's called Naked Sunday. Wait, I lost it here. Naked Sunday was the brand. Where did it go here? That's TPO. There's a brand anyway that was voluntarily pulling it off the shelf while they revisit to make sure that their product does provide the SPF that was provided. Here it is, Naked Sundays, to make sure that it provides the SPF. So there was also recently Ultraviolet is another brand that pulled from the shelf. So there's a lot of controversy going around about sunscreens in Australia. So we're kind of keeping an eye on that. So I think that's it for this week. I hope you found this insightful, if not a little bit entertaining. Please make sure you get your Alley Award submissions in as soon as possible. And if you're headed to IFSCC next week, I hope to see you there. I should be giving you a report from that event there on site. So thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend.